Hey friends, welcome to a brand new video. Today I want to try something new, which is giving you some insights into my art process by showing you a time-lapse video out of Procreate. And instead of just showing you the time-lapse, I'm going to talk a little bit and explain the process from the blank page until the finished work. The art we're going to look at today is this one here called The Tower. I made it for a collaborative tarot art project, so it's my own interpretation of the Tower tarot card. Let me know in the comments how you like this kind of video, how you like this idea. And of course, don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel, because I'm still new onto YouTube, I'm telling you every time, but it is the truth. I need you guys to subscribe to me so I can grow a little bit here to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers until the end of the year. So guys, hit that button please, it would be much appreciated. And now let's have a look at the tower. Let's dive right into the scribbling and concept part. On the right you can see the end result, and I'll tell you step by step how I got there. I created this artwork for a collaborative tarot art drop together with a couple of other amazing artists. So for scribbling, that's what you see on the left side. I almost always use my plastic pencil. It's part of the plastic brush pack, and you'll find a link to the brushes in the description. As we are looking at the scribbling process, you see that I go very much into detail here already. Having a detailed scribble is important for me, as it allows me to completely focus on the outlining process in the next step. You'll see that in a bit. Building the concept of this illustration was actually a little bit different. Instead of starting with putting together a mood board, I used Midjourney to create a couple of references for me, and from there on started scribbling. Midjourney is an AI-based image generating software. You probably heard of AI art before. Here's some of the images it gave me. I find this kind of alternative mood boarding super inspiring, and I also showed my process of doing this live on stream once. I've put a link in the description if you want to watch it. The stream was a little messy for reasons, but well, that's the beauty of doing things live on cam, right? In the scribble you probably just missed an important step because it happens in a millisecond in the replay, but I show you once again. I made a little transformation of the whole scene and narrowed everything a little bit to the upper part. You can see how it looked before on the left and the transformed one on the right. I felt that the composition didn't create a big enough feeling of size and height, and this small adjustment did the trick of simulating a higher distance. Let's head over to drawing the outlines. This is always a very relaxing and calming step for me. My very detailed style of drawing takes me some hours to finish, but I can rely on my scribble and just go with the flow. I would even say that this part of the process is a little meditative to me. Let's use the opportunity and take a look at my canvas details here. For the project, every artist was supposed to work with a defined ratio. As I always work in a minimum resolution of 4K, my canvas size here is 4000 by 5583 pixels, and the iPad I'm working on is a 12.9 inch 2021 model with 512 gigabytes. The outlining brush is Marty McFly, which is also included in the plastic brush pack. Let me know who of you is old enough to know Marty McFly, by the way. The whole outlining part took me around 8 to 9 hours total. That's quite a lot compared to other artworks, but I wanted this to be really detailed. Let me show you a couple of close-ups so you can dive into it a little bit more. Something you can always see very nicely in the sped up replays is how I wander over the canvas with my pen, increasing the grade of detail in different parts of the image step by step. A question I hear a lot is how I know when to stop adding details and how I decide about the complexity of an artwork. This is part of how I do it, by not finishing one small square first and then moving on, but by increasing the grade of detail everywhere until I like the complexity. I then pick certain parts of the drawing where I add a little more lines, so I get a nice contrast and also can put the focus to certain areas. By the way, if you want to look into my file in detail, the layered PSD is available to patrons. Subscribe to any tier on Patreon and you can download and have fun with it. The link to my Patreon is in the description, and you'll also get free brushes and lots of other cool stuff on there, so go and check it out. And of course, the support is really very much appreciated. I'll speed up the outlining process here, and then let's hop on over to the coloring. I wanted this to look dramatic, a bit dark, powerful, and also slightly intimidating, so the colors play a huge role in creating these emotions. First, I add some contrast by adding black areas, which mark the darkest light situations in the whole scene. And then back to colors. I mentioned drama, and if you want drama, a complementary contrast is always a good choice. Complementary means that the color tones are on the opposite sides of the color circle. It's a very easy principle to start building a color palette. So for the dark, moody atmosphere, I took blue hues that slightly go into a purple direction. You know, I'm a purple fanboy, so I need some of that. And for the majority of the colors, kind of the foundation of the artwork, I pick colors from this range here. And to set the color contrast, to get the drama and to create focus, I'm using some slightly pinkish reds from here. In the end, it isn't exactly complementary, but the effect will still be striking enough. The next step in the process is just filling in the flat colors. Just like painting by numbers. Well, it's not that easy. You can see that I also reduced the contrast in the back of the scene a bit. In the rock formations that are far away from the viewer, this simulates distance and depth. Now we are already doing the shades. I add a new layer on top of the flat colors, set the blending mode to multiply, and paint in the shadows with a blue-gray color. I imagine the sun going down on the right behind the tower and hidden by the rocks, so that's my light source I keep in mind when adding the shadows. Also, of course, the illuminated areas of the tower are a light source to keep in mind, but they are not as important as the natural light. I'm now really close to finishing this artwork. It's maybe 1 hour away from completion in a process of around 22 hours total. I add some highlights here and there, for example, reflections of the red light coming from the tower. And I also decide to make the distance effect on the rocks in the back even stronger. In the very last step, I add some grainy light effects with a grain brush I made in Procreate, and add one of the textures from my Make Some Noise texture pack that you can also get in my Gumroad shop. I hope you like the outcome and the resulting artwork. I'm quite happy with it because it has this impressive and very powerful expression I wanted to achieve with this. Thanks for watching, guys. As I told you before, please leave your comments below because I would love to hear your feedback on this video. And I would say happy drawing. See you next time. Bye bye.